Hi everybody, it's Ashley C, and thank you so much for joining me today. Today we're going to talk about The Library of Lost and Found by Phaedra Patrick. So I'm in a book club, and I'm actually inviting everyone here to join me in our own book club. And the point of book club is to read books that you would not normally read and talk about them. Now, this book was chosen by someone in my book club, and it is definitely a book I would not have chosen to read. But I'm glad I did, because reading, and especially reading fiction, really helps you empathize with other people and other cultures, and it's just good for your soul. So I had high hopes for this book because as a book lover, the cover feels kind of like, the cover is pandering to me. The cover, the title, like The Library, love libraries, Lost and Found, adventure, teacups. Who doesn't like reading and drinking something at the same time? My teacup would probably have wine, actually. That's just the truth. And then whole pile of books. The book is filled with what I think are supposed to be twists and turns, but they are not twists or turns. You see them coming a mile away. I was surprised by one thing in this book, and it was that it was not about libraries or books. What I do want to talk about, though, are some of the things that this book brings up, and that's what the video today is about. So, again, book club is all about reading books that you wouldn't normally read, but then talking about some of the things in them. Now, even though I do not like this book, and I give it 2 out of 5 stars, and I guess I should also note, like, I give this book 2 stars, but on Goodreads, it has like a 3.71, mostly 4 and 3 stars. And then on Amazon, it's rated 4.4 stars, mostly 5 and 4 stars. So a lot of people like this book. It just was not for me. Weak characters, people I didn't like, I couldn't relate to them. I felt tricked by the title and the cover, very misleading. Was not a fan. What is this book really about? This book is about a woman named Martha and her journey, I guess, of finding herself. So she feels like she gave up on her life when she decided to take care of her ailing parents. Her parents are Betty and Thomas, and they have a very strained relationship. Thomas is very controlling. I would call him abusive. Most people would call him abusive, I'm not gonna lie. So Martha also has a sister named Lillian, and Lillian is younger, blonde, cute, has a perfect family, did not help her take care of her parents at all. And Martha also had a grandmother named Zelda, who she loved a lot and would encourage her to write stories. And her dad was basically like, if it's not in an encyclopedia, we're not reading it in this house. And he also considered anything that wasn't factual or, like, I don't know. He did not enjoy story time or pretending or anything like that. He thought it was a waste of time and that the girls should not be involved with it. And so Martha liked to write stories, so she would, like, either write them, I guess, secretly, or she would write them when she was with her grandmother, Zelda. So Zelda dies. She takes care of her parents, and then one day she finds a book, and the book is dedicated to her by her grandmother 3 years after her grandmother died. Now, this is a setup for a great mystery, fumbled. It turns out Zelda is gay, and at the time, Martha's parents were like, "You're dead to us." It also turns out that Betty had Martha by another man before she met Thomas, and Thomas was like, look, the guy died, and Thomas was like, look, I love you, don't worry about it, I'll take care of her like she's my own, and let's just pretend that, you know, she's my daughter. Which is all fine and dandy, except, you know, he really didn't treat her like his daughter, especially once he got his own daughter. Tell you, people and the obsession with their genes. Anyways, so Zelda revealed to like a bunch of people that Martha was not Thomas's daughter, and they were like, get the heck out of here. No one told Martha this, and so Lillian knew, everybody knew, Martha didn't know. Now I want to talk about a couple of things with you, and I want you to comment about how you feel about these things. Now, the first is, this book was written in 2019, and it's set in 2019. Like, they even mention Spotify and things like that. However, the main character doesn't have a cell phone and doesn't have a personal computer. What 45-year-old do you know doesn't even have like a flip phone? Like, not even a smartphone. Just have a flip phone. I know plenty of older people who only have a flip phone. I'm not talking about a smartphone. I mean a phone. Like, she had to like, she still had a house phone. And this is set like now. This is not like, oh, it's like 2002. This is set current day. When was it written? Let's see. Yeah, this was written in 2019, and it's set in 2019. And this woman doesn't have a cell phone. She doesn't have a personal computer. What 45-year-old doesn't have Facebook? You know they're always on Facebook. So I think the author just wanted to put her in these kind of rom-com-y situations where like the guy at the bookstore has to drive her home like multiple times, or like she has to be saved when she gets stranded at the beach. Whereas I feel like, you know, if you had a cell phone, you could just call somebody, you know, you call Uber or Lyft or a cab. You know, and not having a personal computer, that was just strange. Like, it made so like she couldn't get her emails fast enough, and it just did not read as believable. Especially because she, like, the character herself, Martha, is so exaggerated. So one thing I really want to talk about is Martha as the pushover. Now, I've seen in a lot of books, and I read a lot of books. So a lot of times in books, right, you encounter a character, usually a woman, who just can't seem to say no. Anything anyone asks her, she's like, okay, yeah, I'll help you out. Yes, I'll do it. Yes, I'll do it. And a lot of times that's read to, like, authors use those kinds of signifiers to give you information, right? So a lot of times those types of characters, especially when they're women, are meant to be read as kind, trying to pleasers, trying to please everyone, a bit of a doormat, not assertive, you know, all those kinds of things. Now, Martha took this to the extreme. Like, she was not just someone who wouldn't say no. She needed to say yes in order to validate her being. And I think that's a bit different than the former, but it seemed like the author wanted you to see the former. But this was just so extreme. I was like, honey, like, this doesn't even make sense. This just seems selfish at this point. Like, she was saying yes to things that she had no business saying yes to, that she had no idea how to do. And then it would just sit in her house waiting for her to do it. She also wasn't kind. There is a character named Brenda, and she consistently calls her Branda because she only wears like brand name clothes. Now, even if she didn't come up with this nickname or other people call her that, you are not a kind person if you're calling someone a nickname that they do not want to be called. And it is not clear in the book if she calls this woman Branda to her face. And I'm like, if she were a kind person, no matter if other people were calling this woman Branda, she would call her Brenda because that's her name. So I'm like, I don't like you. I don't like you, Martha. If you have read this book, I'd love to hear your comments about it. If you're thinking about reading it, let me know. Even after I gave it 2 stars. But again, everyone else seems to love it. So I might just be, you know, being difficult. I did not like that I was misled though. Misled. So yeah, leave me a comment. So yeah, I'd love to hear what you all think about the book. I'd love to hear if you're going to read the book. If you want to read the book despite what I said. Leave a comment down below. Subscribe. The next book club series book is going to be A Woman in the Window by AJ Finn. I'm really looking forward to that one. Again, it was not my pick, but this one is a book I actually would have read. So hopefully it's good and lives up to the hype. And I will see you next time. I think I might make this a thing, right? Like a bad wig for a bad book. I mean, although I will say the book isn't bad. I just didn't like it. Not a bad book. I didn't like it. Actually, I like this. I like the color. It was so cheap. I got this for like so cheap off of eBay. I just wanted to try it out, you know. I wanted to try it out. I tried it. Bangs, look. How my bangs. Not the bang.